House of Representatives rejects bill to bar public officers' children from foreign schools. President Buhari calls for broader action to overcome climate change, biodiversity, rising pollution levels, and waste globally. Federal government says applicants bribing immigration staff for passport issuance will be charged for bribery. Edo State Governor faults National Assembly for rejecting 5 bills seeking the inclusion of women in politics. On the foreign scene, Russia's President Vladimir Putin vows not to give up in the ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Good evening and welcome to News Round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. I am Bolabo, Famous School. The House of Representatives has rejected a bill seeking to regulate the enrollment of children of public officers in schools outside the country. This is as the bill today faced stiff opposition at the second reading. Moving the motion at plenary, a member of the House, Sergius Ogun, said the bill seeks to strengthen indigenous institutions across the country and provide efficient educational services for national development. Ogun noted that the bill will also strengthen indigenous educational institutions to meet global standards, boost the economy by reducing cash flight and foreign exchange, reduce brain drain, and institute good welfare conditions for indigenous academics. The lawmaker added that it will further build a better society by developing formidable educational institutions and facilitate the realization of the fundamental objectives and policies of academic institutions. Ogun decried that much of the nation's resources are being expended on foreign institutions. The lawmaker, however, stated that the bill is not discriminatory but regulatory, while stressing its developmental and economic benefits. However, in his remarks, the Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, said the bill might prevent Nigerians from exercising their rights of choice, movement, privacy, and family life, among others. Gbajabiamila also said some Nigerians on scholarships might study in foreign schools. Moving on, the legislative actions, Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State has faulted the National Assembly for rejecting 5 bills seeking the inclusion of women in politics and other spheres of society. In a statement today, the governor asked the lawmakers to reconsider the bills in order to provide more access for women to participate in politics and contribute their quota to the development of the nation. Obaseki described the action of the lawmakers as regrettable and unsettling, adding that legislature is the bastion of democracy and a critical platform for fair representation and inclusion in government. He called on the National Assembly to reconsider its decision and take proactive actions in providing more opportunities for women to participate in politics, governance, and all spheres of human endeavor. Similarly, the Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives in Kiruka, Onyeje Ocha, has described the rejection of the bills to promote women political emancipation as a conspiracy from the male lawmakers. Onyeje Ocha made the assertion while briefing newsmen on the rejection of gender-related bills by both chambers of the National Assembly. She stressed that the action of her colleagues amounts to a gang-up and bias which will continue to affect the generation of women in future. Onyeje Ocha said with the rejection of the bills, women have lost the opportunity to gain some ground in the country.
Today, Nigerian women are angry. Nigerian women are very angry. We are here gathered in front of the National Assembly expressing our anger towards what the legislators, towards what the senators have done to Nigerian women. We are asking for women representation. We are asking for our basic fundamental human rights. Women are part of the citizens of this country. Our constitution needs to acknowledge that. Women, gender equality is not a women's thing, it's a development thing. We want to participate in Nigeria becoming better. We want to contribute our quota to the development of our country. We are not happy the way the country is. Women have potentials. We are asking to be brought to the table, and the legislators are saying no. You know, Nigerian women are not happy. We can no longer sit and fold our hands and watch things fall apart. We have so many countries that are doing better because women and men are brought on the table. Women have a different perspective to development, just like how men do. Men and women complement each other. We're not asking to compete with men. We are just saying, bring us to the table so that we can together move this country forward. And what are we asking for? Just 35%. They still have 65%. What are the men afraid of?
This morning to register our displeasure to the Senate failure to pass the proposed bill 35, if I'm right, that seeks to create special seats for women in the national and the state assemblies.
How do you explain that a Nigerian man can afford indigenship to his foreign wife, but a Nigerian woman can't do the same to her foreign husband? Meanwhile, we have a number of our men who have traveled to the Western countries and their wives afford them citizenship. And then looking away from just politics and governance, let's trickle it down, because the polity of every nation has a direct impact on the personal life and living experience of the individual. If we stifle our women today, what message are we sending to the young girls? What are we telling them? That you don't have free moral agency? That you can't, as a Nigerian, aspire to exercise your franchise to the highest level? Is that the message we want our young girls to take home? And then we keep complaining about the moral decadence.
Women group under the aegis of the Federation of Muslim Women Association of Nigeria in Bauchi State has faulted the National Assembly for rejecting the bills on gender equality. Speaking today in Bauchi, the executive director of the group, Comfort Atta, urged lawmakers to revisit the bills. She lamented that the lawmakers chose to deny women the opportunity of inclusion and representation in governance by voting against the bills. Atta decried that out of the 68 bills being considered by the National Assembly, 5 bills sought to permit women participation in politics, governance and society were rejected. Atta urged civil society organizations, women-led organizations and women rights organizations to sustain advocacy and intensify the demand for gender equality by occupying the National Assembly until the bills are reconsidered. President Muhammadu Buhari has called for broader action to overcome climate change, biodiversity, rising pollution levels, and waste. This is also noted that there are the 3 major crises threatening the planet. Speaking today in Nairobi at the special session to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the United Nations, Buhari called for broader actions to overcome environmental challenges. Buhari said the establishment of the United Nations Environmental Programme created the awareness and the need to make climate and environmental action a priority. He also noted that desertification and drought are threatening lives and livelihoods, even as it heightened the need to boost biodiversity in ecosystem restoration. President Buhari affirmed that restoring critical ecosystem is crucial to combat climate change and achieve sustainable development. He further reiterated Nigeria's commitment to address the devastating effects of climate change and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, even as a pledge to take steps to adapt to climate impacts. In a bid to put an end to passport racketeering, the federal government says henceforth passport applicants who paid money to immigration staff for the issuance of passport will be charged for bribery and inducement. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, made this known today in Enugu at the unveiling of the Enhanced e-Passport Facility and commissioning of Passport Production Center. Aregbesola advised prospective applicants to always apply and make payment for the various categories of passport they desire online and process the application via the approved passport portal. The minister explained that the online application system is designed to eliminate personal contact other than for biometric purpose. It noted that the development is putting an end to the challenges and irregularities faced by Nigerians in the procurement of their passports. Aregbesola said as long as applicants try to cut corners, they will continue to defeat the purpose of the initiative and create avoidable problems. The minister gave the assurance that the Nigerian Immigration Service will continue to address concerns over the quality and transparency of passport issuance by enabling a transparent and highly professionalized service delivery. He affirmed that the service will continue to provide the needed policy and direction to all agencies under to ensure that Nigerians are properly served. He also lamented the willingness of some Nigerians to collect their international passports, saying no fewer than 250,000 such documents remained uncollected. Away from that, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed worry over the indifferent attitude of eligible voters towards the newly created polling units. Speaking at a meeting with the relevant stakeholders in Ilorin, the Kwara State's resident electoral commissioner, Atairu Madami, said electorates are not moving their voting points to the newly created voting units as expected. Madami explained that the new polling units were created to decongest the existing ones and allow for more political participation. He appealed to political parties, civil society organizations, and the media to further enlighten eligible voters on the new development.
And that is the reason for today stakeholders. We are asked all the reps to go back to hold stakeholders meeting so that people can move from the old polling unit to the new polling unit. That was the essence of the creation, to make it closer. But they are not taking advantage of it. So this time around, we are asked to go back and sit with the community at the ward level. See, your name is in social ward. There are social polling units, which is closer. We'll transfer you there automatically. So that at the end of the day, before election, we have at least 400, 500 people. So we decongest the polling unit. We don't want to see polling unit more than 1,000, more than 750, 3,000. Our essence is defeated.
INEC has not officially lifted ban on campaign activities. We are warning you not to do anything that will heat up the state by engaging on political campaign at this point, utterances or publications.
The First Management of the First Technical University has expressed its commitment to utilize an all-rounded education system to combat the problem of youth unemployment in the country. Speaking at its first convocation ceremony, the Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Ayobami Salami, noted that the institution is committed to producing self-reliant and innovative graduates. Ayodele Fakeye completes the report.
Over the years, the society has come to the understanding of the need for technically competent youths in developing economies to compete effectively in the international marketplace. Bearing this in mind, as part of efforts to bridge the skill gap between competencies of graduates and industry requirements through a blend of theory, practical, and hands-on experiences, the management of the First Technical University says the institution is resolute in its desire to positively impact the lives of the students in entrepreneurial practices, innovations, and morals. The university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ayobami Salami, said this at a media briefing on the level of preparedness for the university's first ever convocation set to hold on Saturday, March 5, 2022, with a number of events to precede the convocation. According to him, the university is graduating 63 students, out of which 12 students bagged first-class degree, and some notable personalities will be recognized for their immense contributions to humanity.
We are graduating 63 students. We have 5 distinguished Nigerians that will be conferred with the honorary degree, namely the Chancellor of the University, Chief Dr. Tunde Afolabi, and also the High Chief Adebayo Akande, the High Chief of Ibadan Land. We have Chief Amapepu. We have Professor Tony Falola from the United States of America. And we have Mr. Shegun Agbaje. It's part of the vision of this university and part of our mission that we don't just want to graduate certificate within students from our university. We want students who will not only have certificate but will have skill, and then will be embedded in the culture of entrepreneurship. And so a part of our training is that apart from the normal degree which you earn in this university, you must have you must be certified in a particular vocation. Apart from that, we want to have another international language, and we started with French, and you also have to be certified in that. So all these students we are graduating on Saudi, they have their first degree, they have diploma in entrepreneurship, and they also have a diploma in French language. And that French language training, it involves immersion program, and it might interest you that most of the people who are graduating first class actually came from the interlands.
While speaking during a tour of the university's facilities, Salami reiterated the commitment of the university to providing a functional education through the provision of workshops, laboratories, and consistently procuring equipment.
We have the Teton has been a very, very supportive partner of this university, and also we augment that with our internally generated revenue. But despite the fund situation, one decision we have made that our students and our staff, they must have adequate facilities to work with and create an enabling environment, because our target, our aim is to ensure that the kind of things we have in our classrooms, in our laboratories, and in our